Why hello there nation, welcome to my top 10 games of 2016. Let's just get straight into this list. Alright, here we go. Number 10. Number 2, Watch Dogs 2. Number 1, Dark Souls 3. Congratulations Dark Souls 3 for being my game of the year. Yeah, guess what? In 2016, when I got to the end of the year, I realized I only ever played 2 freaking AAA games. As the name suggests, this will be my top 10 indie games of 2016. You guys know I'm a big indie gamer. I play indie games all the time. I'm a little bit embarrassed I've only played 2 AAA games, but that's one's when you run out of time and you're trying to find those hot and spicy gems in the pile of shit that sometimes Steam produces, alright? So let's just get straight into the list, alright?
Giga Girl. Remember the hype behind Mighty Number 9? Remember the countless delays and the promises? And honestly, we'll get into that stage where are we even sure the game's going to come out? And well, it finally did come out, and unfortunately the game, well, kind of sucked. Personally, I don't think the game's that bad, it's just a bit boring, but in the same year, another Mega Man clone came out that actually captured the essence of Mega Man, and it's actually really good. Tight controls, challenging levels, awesome boss fights, and the rock paper scissors format that we all know and love in the Mega Man series. This is the closest game to Mega Man I've ever played that isn't Mega Man. And you know what the kicker is? This game literally only costs $3. Seriously, $3. Like, look in your pants pocket. I'm sure there's some loose change lying around. So if you're really sore and butthurt about Mighty Number 9, find $3, buy this game, and seriously, it's a lot of fun. Really easy recommendation. Definitely give it a try. Juno's Darkest Hour. This game came at me like a total surprise. It is one of those games where I played it and honestly I thought, this game's pretty cool, I liked it. But then I finished it and then I pondered upon it and I was like, you know what, this game's actually really good. Seriously, this game is a lot of fun. Essentially the best way I could describe it, it's a platformer with no combat, so you have to dodge everything, with really hardcore, intricate world connectivity like Dark Souls. You have access to 4 different heroes, 3 of which you need to unlock by saving them, and you select one ability which also you need to find to help you traverse the land. Essentially, you go through a level with your character and your item selected, and then if you've done the right path, you unlock something at the end, so it keeps going further and further. Actually, the best way to describe this game, imagine if all your cables are tied up behind your PC or console, whatever, and you had to unravel them one by one. That's what this game essentially is. Be prepared though for a lot of backtracking, and make sure you carry a notepad to remind yourself which areas you need to explore with what items. The game does feature boss fights, but they're essentially puzzles, and some of them are actually really fun. And I gotta give a massive shout out to that final boss. He took me over an hour and a half to beat, and man, he was so challenging, but it was a really fun boss. Definitely worth it. Necropolis, aka Indie Dark Souls. This game surprised me. I bought it because, well, it's indie Dark Souls, man. You know I love Dark Souls. I talk about Dark Souls in nearly all of my videos. However, the first time I played it, I was actually really disappointed. It was actually quite boring. It wasn't that fun, and the level design was a bit uninspiring, and the combat just wasn't precise enough. It's got the same combat, but just something about it slightly off. But then they made a huge update, and they improved. I gotta take my hats off to the developer. They really rebuilt the game from ground up and made it play so much better. And well, now it's in my top 10. This is no means a replacement to the Soulsborne series, but definitely a worthy homage. And I had more fun playing this than Lords of Fallen, so let that sink in. Keep in mind, I never got a chance to play Assault on Sanctuary, which is the other Dark Souls clone that came out of that year. But still, if you have that Dark Souls itch that needs to be scratched, give this game a shot. And it's also 4-player co-op. Owlboy. I have to be honest, when I finished this game the first time, my reaction was, I liked it, don't get me wrong, and please don't leave a hurtful comment, it hurts my feelings. I love the graphics, I love the music, and it controls really well. But honestly, I felt the reviewers who gave it such glowing praise haven't played that many indie games. Afterwards though, I actually found a few more reviewers who were a bit more in depth to why they liked the game a lot. And when I read their reviews, I was like, you know what, there is actually a few points where I missed out. That's why Owlboy's now jumped up into my top 10, but it is only number 7 after all. There's a lot more better games that came out of the year, but honestly, it is a really good game and you should definitely experience it. I actually recommend it for if you're trying to get into the indie game scene for the first time. This is actually probably a really good place to start. But what I'm really excited about this game though, because it did so well, more games will probably try and follow this HD high bit art style, so we're going to see more games inspired by Super Nintendo generation, so I'm looking forward to that. Oxenfree, shouts out to my first game ever on this channel. Been such a long time, but what a great game to start off with. This dialogue in the game absolutely wins. Whoever wrote the script in the game deserves an award. He captured that teenage vibe perfectly. Oxenfree has a colourful cast of characters who decide to catch a boat to a mysterious island to have a party, and unfortunately for them, the island is haunted by ghosts. The dialogue in this game is so organic, and you always have 3 choices of response, and the game continues so you can roleplay the main character Alex how you want to be. Hell, even one of the achievements in the game lets you be the silent protagonist. So when you have the choice between 3, you can actually just stay silent and the conversation continues on. I won't spoil what happens in the game, but I really like the theme about whether you move on in life with the future or do you try and win back the past memories. It actually really hit a chord at home about moving on in life, so I really appreciate Oxenfree for exploring that theme, which I don't think many games cover that much, and especially with teenagers as well, because often in our teenage years is when we make the most mistakes in life. Inside. What an awesome follow-up to Limbo. I didn't think Playdead could do it again, but they did, and they improved so much over the original. It's really hard to explain, but Inside was actually a really fun game. They kept you guessing with what comes up next, and there is no way you could have predicted what the next enemy, area, or even what the ending would have been. And the atmosphere, it's creepy as fuck. Especially the underwater segments. Seriously, fuck those underwater ring wannabe girls. And the sound section, we get blown away by whatever the sound barrier is. Absolutely loved it. Really fun platforming as well. And the puzzles as well. It just kept going on and on. And it's one of those games where even though it was costed $20 or so, and it only lasted for about 4 hours, I just didn't feel like I had any qualms with it at all. It was just a really satisfying experience. The Aquatic Adventures of the Last Human. I loved this game. Well, obviously, that's why it's number 4 on this list. Here is why I love this game. 2D? Yeah. Metrovania? Yeah. Well, isn't that every indie game? No, shut up. I know my channel has become kind of like a bit of a running joke that I'm always playing the 2D platformers, but hear me out. The reason why I love Aquatic Adventures of the Last Human, it's essentially a 2D Metrovania with a lot of Shadow of the Colossus influences, and I absolutely love Shadow of the Colossus. What I really loved about the Aquatic Adventures is the same reason why I love Shadow of the Colossus, that you're given a very vague goal as you fight each boss, ranging from giant octopuses to other enormous aquatic creatures that have been twisted by mankind's machines. There are text logs littered throughout the game that hint to you what happened in the final years of humanity, which are short and get to the point. Along with certain areas, you can see sunken civilizations and heavily polluted areas. I love the ending to this game and its message about global warming and looking after the planet. Highly recommended, especially if you're a big Shadow of the Colossus fan. Trust me, when you play the game, you'll know what I mean. Even the Ocean. What an excellent follow-up to their previous game in 2013, Anodyne, which I also highly recommend. Even the Ocean is a very slow burn, where the story is told bit by bit and gets more exciting as the game goes on. I'll call this game a very heavy story-based platformer. However, the platforming segments are a lot of fun, where you need to balance your light and dark energy to bypass obstacles, and each new section has a brand new obstacle for you to deal with. And the balance mechanic is actually an important part of the story too. I also love that each area you go to, there'll be a small little sub-story which has nothing to do with the main story, but it just adds a lot of flavor to the world and just builds up the human drama, because the game in theory is just about the interactions of people with each other. The music is hauntingly beautiful, just like Anodyne, and I was actually listening to it as I wrote the script for this episode, and honestly the ending was so touching it makes you really think about your actions. Also, big shouts out to the developer for having the best option system ever, where you can make the platforming easier and harder, or even remove the platforming sections entirely so you can focus on the story. Hyperlight Drifter. This was really close. So damn close. I didn't want to make this list until I played this game because I had a feeling I would absolutely love it, and I was not disappointed. Combat system is just as precise like Dark Souls, with tough enemies and challenging bosses. Topped up with this beautiful neon pastel color palette and 2D graphics, this game is exactly what I wanted when I first saw it on Kickstarter. If Necropolis is the third person Dark Souls like of the year, then Hyperlight Drifter is the top down Dark Souls like of the year. And it's nice to see that even though the characters did not talk, they shared a picture instead to help tell the story. You know, they say about a picture's worth 1,000 words. It was nice to play a difficult game that got the balance right as well. I never felt frustrated throughout the game, and for those people who love finding secrets hidden in every corner, this game will be right up your alley. I'm serious, I've never played a game with so many little hidden areas everywhere. It was a delight to play, but it was a number 1. Number 1 is Wuppo. This is my most favorite indie game of 2016. I was worried that when I replayed the game that I overhyped it to myself as I was playing it, but no, I played it again and fell in love with it even more. It's another game where you're constantly guessing what is going to happen next, and it actually kind of reminds me a little bit of Conker's Bad Fur Day, how each section of the game feels completely different with its own set of objectives. From the beginning with getting kicked out of your house for spilling ice cream on the ground, to exploring the eerie caves, to finding a huge city where you need to work to help create the next expansion to the city. The dialogue and the characters are so cute, and the boss fights are a combination of challenging or also very easy, but just fun to fight. And that's what this game really is. It's kind of like having just a random wacky adventure that you could only dream of, or be on a huge amount of drugs. I don't know what else to say, but if you're not convinced, check out my complete Let's Play, or better still, I'd rather you just buy the game, don't even watch my video, and just be prepared to go on a random adventure that will make you smile. Congratulations Whopper for being my game of the year 2016.
So there you have it guys, my top 10 indie games of the year 2016, and what a great year for indie games it has been. And a few of those indie games, believe it or not, have actually received a lot of mainstream success, such as Inside was actually nominated for quite a few awards from even the mainstream media, even IGN. Can you believe it though? I still have so many more 2016 indie games for me to play that I still haven't had a chance yet. Every day on Steam there's just been more and more games coming out, and it's actually getting harder and harder for me to find the really hot and spicy games. And I bet you I've missed out a lot of habaneros, probably some jalapenos, and maybe a California ghost pepper in there as well. So I do rely on my audience out there. If there's any indie games that came out in 2016, you like, dude, like it's way better than Wuppo, or hey, deserves to be in your top 10, let me know. I'm gonna hit it up and give it a try. But that being said, I'm really looking forward to 2017. January's about to finish, and February's about to start. It's my birthday month as well, so I hope something sweet comes out on my birthday. And hey, it's only the beginning of the year, and I remember Aquatic Adventures The Last Human actually came at the beginning of the year, last year as well, so hey, who knows, I might be playing the next top 10 game soon, and I'm really looking forward to that. Thanks again for checking out my list, and a big shout out to all my fans out there who've supported me thick and through. My channel only started in May. I've only hit 230 subscribers. I know there's a few people I know who's like starting to hit like the big time now, hitting like 10,000 and growing further. So I was fighting an uphill battle, doing what I want to do, which is playing indie games. But hey, sometimes it's the journey that is more important than the actual destination. So I hope you guys stick around for the journey. It's going to be a doozy, and don't worry, there's going to be plenty of more hot and spicy indie games coming this year. Don't you worry about that. So I'll leave the episode there. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Fox Plays. Don't forget to leave a comment down below about what came out this year that you absolutely loved. And don't forget to peace out. And to keep up with Fox Plays, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, which will be either here or here, along with playlists to some of my other favorite videos, here or here. Peace out. I'm just going to chill out here. 20 seconds. YouTube wants that 20-second end card, so... Do you like bananas, guys? I think I'm gonna grab a banana. Give me a sec. Okay, got my banana. Let this outro card pan out for a little bit. Seriously, just click a video. All good. Got my banana.